What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel and thanks for tuning in. I have an email question today from a Marcus from Atlanta. He said it was okay to use his first name. He didn't leave his last name anyway. But Marcus from Atlanta emailed me with the question. He said that he was dating a woman for about 6 months now and that she has a great job. And every time that they have gone out over the 6 months, he has always paid. He said for everything. He listed movies, weekend getaways, dinners. He paid for it all. And he asked her once about would she be willing to pay for anything, and she told him a real man pays for it all, which we have kind of discussed this before on my channel. He said that he wasn't broke, but he wasn't rich. And his question was, should he expect some kind of balance in the finances with her, seeing as how she made even more money than he does? Or was he being too sensitive about money? So that's what his question was. And I would say to Marcus and to those who are watching, welcome to Dating 2025 and welcome to my channel. I think he probably just caught a video that I recently did because it seems like he watched, and then it just seemed like he watched something, and then it triggered him to send this email. So welcome to Dating 2025. Probably the dating contaminated pool. Anyway, one of the things that I think we're going to have to deal with, I would say one of the questions that we're going to have to answer as time moves on. See, right now it's just back and forth chatter. But I think that we're going to have to eventually answer the question about money now that women are getting into the bag. Old school, traditionally, back in my grandparents' day, the man paid for the majority of what took place. I think sometimes we miss what was really going on, though. It wasn't that granddad and great granddad were such noble men, even though they were. Most of our grandfathers and grandmothers were very hardworking people. But it wasn't that he was just being so noble that he took everything on his back because he had options. He didn't have options. At that time, women really wasn't even allowed to own houses. They didn't work. That's what equality of pay and work and all these, that's why these things came about. They was trying to get there. So in a traditional mindset that we got a lot of our information from, we're looking at a system where women were not in the bag. Let's be very clear. In great grandpa's day, women did not have the bag. They were not business owners for the most part. Okay? For the most part, they were not at the top, even in the middle. You might have one or two every once in a while that would create something, do something, rise up. You find out later. But for the most part, women was not in the bag. Grandpa had to go out, make the money, make the bread and butter, bring it back. It had to go like that. And they lived a very simple life. Okay? Most of our grandparents' house was very simple. It was not elaborate. Their cars was not elaborate. Grandpa drove an old F-150. That's what nothing was elaborate. The houses that we live in now, is far more than something grandpa ever thought of, even for houses in his day. Let's establish that. So today, women are making, and I'm going medium here. Today, women are making 50, 60, 70, $80,000 a year. Oh, I know y'all are making more than that. Don't get me wrong. I'm just making a point that now women actually have some cash, some resource now. So at some point, we're going to have to address the question is, should relationships be financially, I'm going to say collaborative, based on the fact that she may either make more or she does bring a lot to the situation? We got to answer that. See, it's just like when I was in school, the way we learned math, and then as time progressed and evolved, by the time my son got to high school, I wasn't able to help him in math because of the way that the new way of doing math, it was foreign to me. So I had to tell him, you got to go talk to your sister. This is the way relationships is going to have to be looked at. And if the way it was then, as we progress, we have to reassess the situation and see what's best. Are we going to keep a 1950s, 1960s mindset when women had little access to money? Or can we agree that women are now in a better position to help the situation? So it should be financially collaborative based on income. We got to answer that question. Or regardless of how much a woman makes, regardless of how women are in the bag now, the man should always be financially responsible. We're going to have to answer that question. And maybe it will not be a universal answer. It may be individually. So right now, I think it's definitely individual based on your values. Okay, Marcus, are you with me? All right. Part of dating, and you seem like you got a good head on your shoulders from the way that you wrote the email. Part of dating is also vetting or filtering out or discovering who is good for you. And let me say this, beyond just how they look, and let me say this, beyond the chemistry or the feelings or the goosebumps that you get when you are around her. I know that as men, a lot of time we can see a fine woman and she talks so nice, and the words that come out of her mouth, it just sends tingles all up and down our spine. They just chase, the tingles just run up and move us. We feel like we could sit there and listen to her all day long, and especially if she's good looking to us. Oh, the chemistry. But when you really get down to the nuts and bolts of everything, you really should be vetting and dating to discover who has similar values that you have. Okay, remember that. So I'm not going by how much money she make. I'm not going by how fine she is. I'm not going by the fact that she smells like vanilla cream, vanilla butter, whatever when y'all go out. I ain't going off of the fact that her breath ain't never got a smell to it. I'm talking about values right now. And finances is one of the top 3 reasons that people who end up getting married also get divorced. So we want to go ahead and work this out. What is your financial values in relation to hers? Based on your email, you already told us that you feel that, especially because she makes more, we can sense that you feel things should be a little more balanced, and that every once in a while she should be able to reach into her purse and offer to pay for something. Now that is your value. Okay, remember that. You don't have to, unless you got a crazy way of looking at things, you don't have to shift your value. You a man, you already know what you expect, what you want. That's your value. Now let's look at hers. When you told her that, you said, I told her that once. When you told her that, what did she do with that information? With that information, she told you a real man will pay for everything. She just told you her value. You see that? Your value is a little more balance, a little more working together, a little more reciprocation. I give a lot. Can you give a little? I give some. Can you give some? That's your value. Her value financially is you give it all. Right there, my brother Marcus. I'm telling you, you all are not on the same plane when it comes to financial values. Should you so happen 3, 4, 5 years from now to marry this woman, what do you think is going to change when you marry her? She's still going to have the same value. That is, you pay for everything. And right now, you already know you're not comfortable with that, especially with the fact that she's making good money and more money than you. So right there, you know you guys are not compatible when it comes to value. So 20 years ago, I would have told you something different. 20 years ago, I would have told you to be patient. Do this, do that, do that. In 2025, I'm not speaking that kind of language right now. In 2025, I'm telling you that relationship is not going to work because you're going to end up being frustrated. You're going to end up spending more money than what you have budgeted and planned for. You're going to end up being resentful towards her. You're going to end up going broke. You're going to end up trying to prove to her that you are a man because you are willing to pay for everything. And that's not even a value that you have in your life. Keep your value just as a man. Keep your value. It's not a crazy value. I agree with what you said. I feel the same way. If a woman is making money every once in a while, she can do something. Even if it's not taking me out, but she's going to cook a meal. She can do something. She can pay for a movie ticket every once in a while. Yeah, honestly, the way I do it for the most part, once I get to know a person, if we go to the movies, I'll pay for the tickets. She buy me Reese's Pieces and something to drink. That's how I do it. Now, if she don't want to do it, I'll still pay for it. It's not a big deal, but that's where I'm chill right there. I'm gonna pay, I'm gonna buy the tickets. She could get a little popcorn in a can, which now it could sometimes that stuff can run up high, but I try to make sure that it's right. Stick with your values. Find somebody that you're compatible with based on your values. Okay? You don't have to change how you see it. It's not that you're sensitive about money. Well, you are in a way, but not in a bad way. When she said a real man pays for everything, a real man is conscious of his money and he moves wisely and has good or decent to good to excellent financial management skills. That's a real man. A real man would not put himself in a bind to prove to a woman he's not even married to and has only been dating 6 months that he is a real man just because she tells him he needs to be the one paying for everything. That's not a real man. You stay on your grind, stay on your business, stay on your purpose. If you've got a budget, a plan, idea of what you're trying to do with your finances. You said you're not rich, but you're not broke. Stick right there. That's a real man. You are conscious of the money you make and how much you are able to spend and give towards the outers and the situations that y'all do. So hopefully this has helped you understand more. It's not that necessarily she's wrong. She needs to find a man that agrees with her concept. She needs to find a man that don't mind paying for every single thing, regardless of how much money she makes. So what she do in her decision and how she see it, we ain't even really gonna address that because y'all two are not compatible anyway. So she got to go on her own journey and figure that out. As for you, my brother Marcus, you need to find a woman that has the same financial values that you have, that don't mind reciprocating, that when you give, and you should give more, that when you give, when you offer, when y'all go out, when y'all hang out, and she's seeing your sacrifices, she's seeing how wise you are and prudent you are with your money and your bills, she don't mind helping you out from time to time. Y'all got it? Good. Bye.